Gold this week has been all over the place. And if you've been following this market, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're looking for a game plan for this upcoming week, then you are in the right place because in this video, I'm going to go over my entries, my exits, and my profit targets for this market for the upcoming week. And as you can see, price basically just stayed in this consolidation zone for this past week. And what I'm going to do, instead of doing all of this over again, the thing that I'm going to do is actually just go ahead and read off all the levels that we marked last week. If you want to see that breakdown, then go ahead and watch the previous gold video. Right before this is actually a very popular video at this point, almost 5,000 views. So go ahead and check that out. But in this video, as usual, we are going to start on the weekly time frame and we're just going to call out the different levels. So let me just clean this up super quick so that way we could just read off the levels and that way you can mark up your charts along with what I have here. So if we just pay attention to the candles for a moment, we can see that this past week's candle closed bearish and the previous week closed strong bullish. So the fact that it didn't break this, it can basically do anything for this upcoming week. So we're going to come up with some levels so that way we can have a game plan for this upcoming week. So anyway, I just want to point that out. But first, let's just start at the top and let's go ahead and roll from there. If you are tired of missing out on gold in this blueprint, you're going to get an easy to follow profitable gold trading table as well as profitable entry levels and strategies. If you've tried to decode things like FOMC, geopolitical events, you may have tried without much success. And in this blueprint, you're also going to master simple strategies that the big players like banks and institutions follow, and then also be able to spot profitable opportunities so that way you could avoid some of the common traps that other traders fall into. And then, of course, you're going to save hours of research with a clear and actionable plan inside of the gold market. Just take a look at what some people are saying about this. So go ahead and grab your copy of the Profitable Gold Market Blueprint today. So the first level that I have right here is at 3,500 flat. At this point, that's the high of the market. And then the next level I have is at 34.59. The next level that I have is right here at 34.30. And then the next level that I have is at 34.09. And then the next level that I have is yellow level. It's a little hard to see that it's yellow, but right here, and that is at roughly 33.65. And then coming all the way down here, because we're going to refine our game plan in here, we have this level right here at 32.82. And then right here, this yellow level is at 32.07. And then next we have this level at 31.53. And then finally, we have this level at 31.23. So let's just go ahead and take a look at the daily, just so that way you can see what the candles look like. And I don't anticipate changing anything up here, basically because price didn't get up there this past week. It mostly played in here, and this is where we're going to mostly focus on in terms of coming up with a game plan. So you can see these levels are still looking great. And let's go down to the H4. I just also want you to see how price formed up. So if we pay attention to this level in here, let's get rid of that because now we have to come up with a new game plan. So if we look at this H4 time frame, we can see that price did come down here, form a support. So I actually do want to mark that off, and I will mark this off right here. All right. And this line is sitting at 32.61, mainly because the fact that price broke this really key level, came down, formed a support, and then pushed off and making almost equal highs as this previous area is significant. So we would definitely want to mark that off here on the H4 time frame. And this is where the week started, and we want to focus basically in here. So this is the H4, and now let's go down to the H2. Okay, so now that we're here on the H2, we can actually take this line and we can move it. So I like to pretty much include the wicks in this. I may adjust it again once I go to the H1, but I do see another level that I do want to mark off, kind of a minor level because it did reject this area and then push back up. But this level is sitting at 32.75. I like that number. It's really nice and round. And then there is another level that, or actually a couple levels that I want to mark off here on H2. But let's go ahead and hop down to H1 because we may see it a lot cleaner there. Not as clean as I'd hope, but one thing that I do want to change. So this level right here, I do see this wick here and I do want to move this up. So that way we're touching most of the levels. So now this is at 32.53 and the next level we can do the same thing here. This is now sitting at 32.76, so it really didn't move pretty much hardly. So anyway, so now that we're on the H1 time frame, this is going to be the time when we come up with a game plan. But first, I want to mark off a couple more levels. So I'm just going to use my horizontal ray tool. So I do see a level in here, and I'm just going to use my horizontal ray tool and mark this off. And this level is at 33.04. And then I do see another level. So let me use my ray tool once again. Actually, if you look at this and this, these are pretty much at the same spot. So let me see if I can find the average of this area, and it is at 33.24. So that is looking good to me. And then there's another level. We kind of have the same thing here, and I did have an alert there. I'm going to keep that because that's what I want to have for this upcoming week, just so that way I could be prepared. So this is a little tricky. I am going to mark off this higher one because even though these are close, it's still in the zone. So this level is now at 33.50. Perfect round number. Okay, cool. So before we hop into this, I want to make sure that these have enough range, just so that way when I'm actually trading, I have some range. So I'm going to explain this section in a moment, but let's go here to here. So this is almost 200 pips. Perfect. And then this level from here to here is 250. 58. Okay, that's great. And then this level here is kind of tiny. So there would have to be a lot of momentum inside of the market to even tap into this. Okay, so now if we measure this other level, if we go from here to about here, we have 132 pips. So that does fit within inside of my trading range. And that is a nice level as well for a very short term trade. I've created another community here on School called Consistent Profitable Traders. And if you want to join, you can go to school.com/traders in order to join this free membership. I have a number of things here inside of the community. You can see that the community is growing. There are people being added almost every single day. And then inside of the classroom, I do have some things here. I'm constantly adding new things, new resources for new traders. And if you go over to the calendar, then you'll see that I have a monthly call with everybody inside of this group. So if you want to join this community, go ahead and go to school.com/traders, and I'll see you there. And then measuring here. Okay, cool. So this is 215. So I like that a lot. So now this zone right here. So this zone to me is basically a no trade zone, mainly because, let me go here and actually have this set up. No trade zone, mainly because this is a really narrow range. And basically I need to see price break out of either to the upside or to the downside. Now, if we look at this, it's a little difficult to see. If we look from here to here, we can see that this is a short-term downtrend and there's a possibility for price to go down. But if we zoom out a lot more, we can see that price was down here and it pushed up. And maybe this is just a pullback. So it could also push up as well. So we just have to be able to plan for both sides. So this is my game plan. This is going to be the no trade zone. So I will be looking for buys above this level here at 33.24. And then I will also look for shorts, maybe not a short-term short, just depending on how the market goes, but below this little level right here at 32.75. So let me go ahead and move that there. So I'll be looking for buys above there, but then I'll also be looking for buys above here as well. So I forgot to call that out earlier. So, and then continuing with the sales, let's go here. And basically what I'll be looking for is taking this all the way down to here. So let me just mark this off. So from here to here, and you can see that this is 435 pips in the market. That is a nice healthy area. And that would be really cool. So for instance, if the buys continue to push up above this level, then I would feel a lot more confident taking some buys. So pretty much from this yellow level at 33.65 and then taking this all the way up to 34.09. And that is a 438 pip zone. So the market has been really choppy this week and really it could go either way. So I want to make sure that I have a game plan for both sides. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and let me know in the comment section that this has been helpful for you. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that way you don't miss any other videos that come up, and I'll see you next time.